Hi Sagittarius, this is your horoscope for April 2017. Now, from the 3rd of April until the 22nd of April, the Sun is in Aries and it conjuncts Uranus, which is also in Aries. And a conjunction between two planets means that they sit together and they start to blend their energy together. Now, the Sun in Aries is your identity and it's very forceful and it's very focused on making progress and getting things done. Uranus is about eccentricity and also it's associated with energy. In Aries, it's really unstoppable, and these two coming together really give you a huge sense of drive and push and focus when it comes to sorting out your romantic life, your love life. Okay, so you're really going to be interested in using all of your energy to make something happen there. If you're in a relationship and you want to make it better, for instance, or if you're single and you want to be in a relationship, or if you have no intention of being in a romantic relationship but you want to improve your relationships with your friends or your colleagues, then that'll be the focus. The Sun and Uranus, they oppose Jupiter, which is the lucky planet, which is in Libra on the other side of the chart. Okay, so the big luck factor that they're tuning into here is building bridges with other people. So you will be very good at that, and if you plan and if you make this your priority to bring people into your life and to broaden your social network and to really find the person that you want to be with as such, you're going to have a lot of support here via the astrology for the first 3 weeks of April, from the 3rd of April until the 22nd. Now on the 5th of April until the 25th of August, Saturn goes retrograde. And Saturn is the planet of scrutiny and restriction, and it's been in your sign of Sagittarius for a while now, and it's in your first house. So Saturn is the chart's head teacher. He kind of forces you to look at your life and see what it is and what it ought to be, or what you would like it to be. Okay? When it's in retrograde like this, it's less harsh because it can feel very difficult and stressful looking at these things sometimes. It feels kind of supportive and nurturing when it's in retrograde, and it allows you to review the decisions that have already been made, and it allows you to review the structures that you have in your life and whether you want to keep those or whether you want to change the structures you've got in your life. Because your life, the way it is at the moment, is a result of the decisions you've made in past years and months. So Saturn will help you and support you in looking at all of this, and will kind of ask, where do you see yourself in a year from now? Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? What would you like to achieve? What kind of person would you like to be? How could you work on yourself, and how could you make different decisions to change certain things about yourself? If you work with that process during this retrograde, Saturn will really support that and help you make specific changes. And that's actually really interesting that coincides with all this energy in your 5th and 11th, which has to do with romantic relationships and friendships, because you're looking at what your part in it is, what you can change about yourself, and you're also taking action in terms of, I want someone in my life. So you're not just this maniac going out there looking for a girlfriend, you're this person kind of saying, I'm on a spiritual journey myself, I'm growing as an individual, I'd like to share that with another person, and it's really, there's a nice balance there. On the 9th of April, Mercury goes retrograde, and Mercury is the communication planet. When it goes retrograde, communication becomes more difficult and there's more room for misunderstandings and miscommunications. In your case, it's particularly going to be linked to work. So if you send emails, if you have to draw up contracts, or you have to do a lot of writing, double check these things before you send them off. If there's a lot of information being passed back and forth, make sure that the very important urgent stuff has actually been received, because it's going to manifest itself in your working life and your day-to-day routine. So also, I would suggest during this retrograde, make sure that you've got air in your tires in your car, and that you take care of the things which potentially could go wrong when it comes to transportation and movement as well, so that you don't have huge headaches in that area of your life. Now on the 11th of April, the full moon happens in Libra, and that happens in your 11th house, which opposes the 5th, which is really a blessing, such good fortune here. The full moon is a fruition, a kind of completion point for the moon. And I'll make a separate video on the full moon and the new moon because they can often be quite complicated, and I'll go into more depth. But as far as you're concerned as Sagittarius, this is really a day where you start to see some progress in this quest that you're on for new relationships in your life. On the 15th of April, we've got Venus going direct, and this is really, really helpful as well. Venus is the planet of love and beauty, and that has been in retrograde since the 4th of March, and it goes direct on the 15th. So relationships, romantic relationships will become less stifled. You won't struggle as much to see the other person's point of view. You'll be able to make more progress. Because Venus is in your 4th house, your family relationships are going to improve. Maybe there have been conflicts and arguments in that part of your life. Your relationships, whatever the nature of the relationship is, now gets better, or they get better, because Venus goes direct again. So with this search for relationship that you're on, the 11th of April is important because it's that full moon. You're really going to make some inroads there. The Venus retrograde coming to an end, that's also important. But in your case, it's almost like the full moon in Libra cuts the retrograde of Venus short. So the first 11 days of the month aren't going to be that great when it comes to actually succeeding in this romantic relationship side of things. But the rest of the month is much better. And it's very good, in fact, when it comes to love and romance. So the way you haven't had success recently, it goes the other extreme then, and you'll start to have a lot of success in that area of your life from the 11th of April onwards. Now, on the 20th of April all the way until the 28th of September, Pluto goes into retrograde. Pluto is the planet of transformation and change, death and rebirth. It's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. And it's about inner illumination. It's about understanding things. It's about the penny dropping and just having that aha, eureka moment. It sits in your 2nd house of money in the sign of Capricorn. So you're really going to understand certain things about, not only about who you are as an individual and in relationships, but you're also going to understand more about how you work, how you make an income for yourself, how you could make different decisions about that, be part of different kind of structures or work in a different context, and how that's going to help you change the amount of money that you have in your life. So all of these retrogrades are about reviewing of your past decisions, presenting you with enlightenment and inner illumination now, and really starting to make sense of why you are in the situation that you're in and where you want to be in future and what you can do about that to get from A to B. On the 26th of April, we have the new moon happening in Taurus, and that's in your 6th house. And that is a really good day for you just to be able to relax within all of this Mercury retrograde stuff going on. There isn't going to be as much problem when it comes to communication, when it comes to relationships. So you get a bit of a break here at the end of the month with this Mercury retrograde, and things will seem to kind of ease off earlier than they do for most other people with the retrograde. So that's what I get for you in April. If you would like a private reading with me based on your birth chart, please get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Just click on the readings tab to order your reading. Please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll speak to you next month.